I never thought a quiet move to a lakeside cabin would land me in the crosshairs of a power-hungry HOA president, but that's exactly what happened. After a roadside bomb in Iraq left my right leg permanently damaged, I traded combat zones for a peaceful retreat in Willow Creek, a small community nestled by a shimmering lake in Oregon. It was October 2023, and I'd been living there for 6 months, running my business from a converted cabin office with a view that could calm any storm in my solar, so I thought. I had a military-grade internet setup, mornings spent fishing, and evenings sipping coffee as I safeguarded critical government systems. It was my slice of paradise until Margaret Hensley, the HOA president, decided to make my life hell. It all started with a knock on my door. Margaret stood there, clipboard in hand, her smile as fake as the official badge pinned to her blazer. She launched into a pitch about a mandatory $600 a month premium maintenance package for community upkeep. My years in intelligence taught me to sniff out scams, and this reeked of one. I asked for a cost breakdown and market comparisons basic due diligence. Her smile tightened, and she muttered something about non-negotiable community standards. I said I'd look into it, and that's when I uncovered her dirty little secret. A quick online search revealed local lawn services cost $200 a month at most. Margaret was pocketing $400 per household. With 25 homes in Willow Creek, she was raking in $120,000 a year, scamming her neighbors while hiding behind her HOA title. When I asked around, everyone had the same story: pay up or face absurd fines for violations like a slightly faded mailbox or a garden statue deemed tasteless. I made my first mistake by confronting her too soon. I told Margaret I wasn't signing her contract until she justified the costs. Within hours, a $4,000 emergency violation notice was taped to my door, claiming my home office violated zoning laws. I called my old college buddy, Lauren Mitchell, a civil rights lawyer. She laid it out straight. "Ethan, it's extortion, but fighting it in court could cost you $25,000 with no guarantee of winning." Against every instinct, I paid the first month's $600 to buy time for a strategy. Margaret smirked as she pocketed my check, saying, "Wise move, Ethan. I've dealt with tougher nuts than you." That was her first mistake underestimating me. She didn't stop there. When I delayed the second payment to dig deeper, Margaret hit me with another notice, this time claiming my excessive electronic equipment threatened the community's zoning compliance. The fine? $8,000, plus a demand to shut down my office entirely. My business depended on that secure workspace for classified contracts. She wasn't just after money. She wanted control, and I was her latest target. Margaret had turned Willow Creek into her personal fiefdom, crushing anyone who dared question her. My neighbors were terrified, whispering about fines for trivial things like non-compliant window blinds or hazardous dock repairs. Then, fate handed me a golden opportunity. General Thomas Bradley, my former CO who saved my life in Iraq, called. "Ethan, I need a secure spot for a classified briefing. Can your cabin handle it?" I said yes, and we set the meeting for 7:30 a.m. The next day, I mentioned the HOA mess in passing, and he chuckled. "We're planning something bigger than her little power trip." I had no idea how right he was. The next morning, another notice appeared on my dormy grass was 2.3 inches tall, exceeding the 2-inch limit. Margaret was relentless, showing up with her posse of fake county officials armed with cameras and measuring tapes, staging loud inspections to humiliate me. I fought back quietly, researching HOA abuse on YouTube and interviewing neighbors. I learned Margaret had targeted at least 7 other households. One neighbor, Mrs. Larson, got a $700 fine for a tacky birdhouse. Another family paid $400 for excessive holiday lights. Her maintenance company? Registered to a vacant lot. She was hiring cheap contractors and pocketing the difference, a classic fraud scheme. Margaret's paranoia kicked into overdrive when she noticed my high-end equipment and frequent visitors, government officials with top clearances. She started spying, snapping photos through my windows and logging my visitors' plates, convinced I was running an illegal operation. She filed a county complaint, alleging unlicensed commercial activity. The county investigated, saw my legitimate permits, and dismissed it. But Margaret wasn't done. She planned a surprise raid, on my cabin at 8:00 a.m., the exact time General Bradley's classified briefing was set. That morning, General Bradley arrived in his dress uniform, for stars gleaming, carrying top-secret documents for Operation Iron Gate, a $60 million cybersecurity upgrade for military bases in the Pacific Northwest. We spread maps across my table, set up encrypted systems, and dove into threats that could cripple military communications. I forgot about Margaret until she burst through my door, camera flashing, clipboard raised, ready to expose my illegal business. She froze. For 6.8 seconds, silence gripped the room. Instead of catching a small-time consultant, she'd stumbled into a Pentagon-level briefing. General Bradley turned, calm as ever, and said, "Ma'am, you're interrupting a classified national security operation. I need your identification and authority to enter this property." Margaret's face was a masterclass in panic mouth agape, camera dangling, her entire narrative collapsing. She stammered about a routine inspection and backed out, muttering threats. But the damage was done. Her raid had backfired spectacularly, and her paranoia only grew. She spent days digging into my military record, convincing herself I was a covert operative spying on Willow Creek. She called an emergency HOA meeting, complete with a PowerPoint titled Resident Safety Alert, accusing me of running a government surveillance ring. She showed photos of General Bradley's truck, my computers, and my suspicious visitors, claiming the general was a hired actor. The room of 25 residents was skeptical, but tense until General Bradley walked in, unrecognized in civilian clothes, and sat quietly, taking notes. As Margaret's presentation grew wilder, accusing me of constitutional violations, General Bradley stood. The room hushed. "I'm General Thomas Bradley, U.S. Army, 35 years of service. I'm here with Mr. Caldwell on classified projects protecting our nation's security." Margaret's jaw dropped as he debunked her claims, confirming my clearances and credentials. Then I took the floor, exposing her $360,000 fraud scheme, $400 per household, times 25 homes, over 3 years. Neighbors shared their stories, fines for garden gnomes, wreaths, even a wrong shade mailbox. The room erupted. Margaret's desperate cries of government conspiracy fell flat. The HOA board ousted her on the spot, dismissed her fines, and launched a lawsuit to recover the stolen funds. Margaret's downfall was swift. Her lawyer bailed when he saw the evidence. A forensic accountant uncovered fake invoices and shell companies. The IRS and postal inspectors piled on with tax evasion and mail fraud charges. Her bank accounts were frozen, her house sales stalled by liens, and her reputation shattered as local news branded her the face of HOA corruption. Meanwhile, my firm landed the Iron Gate contract, and I turned down a Pentagon job to keep my cabin office. Our new HOA president, Sarah Thompson, slashed fees, restored fairness, and boosted property values. At Margaret's sentencing in April 2024, I faced a choice: push for harsh punishment or show mercy. Her guilty plea and the community's pain detailed in victim statements made revenge tempting. But I chose restraint, advocating for probation, $360,000 in restitution, and 1,000 hours of community service. Margaret's relief was palpable, but she'd sell her house to pay the fines, leaving Willow Creek for good. In a final twist, Sarah enforced Margaret's own petty rules against her fines for overlong grass and non-compliant moving boxes. Karma didn't just knock, it kicked the door down. As Margaret's moving truck rolled out, I sat on my dock with General Bradley, watching a new family move into her house, their kids laughing freely. "Think she learned her lesson?" he asked. I shrugged. "That's her call. I just wanted to work in peace." He nodded. "Mission accomplished, son. Live with integrity, and the rest sorts itself out." Now, I'm curious, what do you think? Was my mercy for Margaret too soft? Or did she deserve a chance to rebuild? Have you ever seen someone pick a fight with the wrong person and crash spectacularly? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if justice hit the mark, and subscribe for more stories where karma comes calling.